where we still get games that release and just explode. And
Yes.
one of those, the most recent example of this is Palworld, which we discussed. I've been playing a lot of it. It's kind of, I almost spent too much time on this. Just want to kind of go through a little bit of the timeline, give a little kind of stats and whatnot. I think, there's a lot of like controversy surrounding this game. I won't get too much into that. I mean, obviously with its relationship to Pokemon and kind of how that's all going, there's been a lot of divisive opinions across the internet. You have dogs just tuckered out, just like chilling. He could be a pal. I don't know what his name would be, but just chilling, dude. Anyway,
Yeah.
but yeah, so Palworld, it's what we were all talking about. I heard some people saying like, "Oh, this is a total shock, surprise release. We didn't know about it." But it's like, oh, they talked about it.
We definitely knew about it. Yeah,
they talked about it at Summer Games Fest. It was they had a trailer. It wasn't amazing, which I didn't think it was gonna do that well, just because I didn't know much about the game. But like after obviously playing the game and hearing about it, and there's still a lot of people who are playing it. And so yeah. They call it like the first big surprise hit. I will say it's a surprise in the fact that we didn't realize it was going to be as big as it was. I don't think anyone did.
No. I think it's under the radar. So surprise hit. Yeah, that makes sense.
I think that makes sense. I think we'll say it's always weird because like whenever we have those droughts of just something that's not like we don't have like a huge release or a huge game. Yeah, I often think back to like I wonder if we're going to get another game where it's just like going to take over I
think we found it.
And this is it. Like Palworld is literally that game. I mean, we're talking about over 8 million in Steam sales like alone just in the first 6-7 days. Like it's insane.
It's incredible.
It's hit like crazy milestones. We're talking about peak player counts that are higher than like Counter-Strike 2 and Dota 2 on Steam. It's like second all time, second to PUBG, which a game like PUBG, I don't know, it's gonna be kind of hard to top like over 3 million or something like that concurrent at one point.
Yeah.
I mean, that game was huge.
One more thing about the Steam charts, because we're going to get into it. It's in this article. The numbers that they're showing are very, very impressive, like for sure. But the one thing that they actually exclude is this game is on Game Pass and it's on console.
Yeah.
How many people? Like, I'm just going to look up real quick. Xbox most played games. Let's see.
It's topping that chart. I'm telling you right now.
Let's find out. Let's find out. Like,
it's definitely going to be topping those charts. I don't know.
I'm pulled it up. Fortnite's on it. Now, I don't know how often they update this. It might be weekly, it might be monthly. But let me just go ahead and Google Palworld. So it's not even so it's not on the most played games yet. Which means that Xbox must have some type of criteria where you have to be on it for a while.
Is it on console or is it PC only?
Is it? Am I crazy?
I feel like it was PC only. I don't know if it had an Xbox.
No. It is on a lot of consoles, my man. It's on Xbox One, Xbox Series X and S. Now it's in early access, so maybe it's not on console yet.
I stand corrected. Just as I stand corrected.
No, it's in. It should be on console right now.
Just as I stand corrected about this, because in part of this article they talk about Palworld's announcement trailer was in 2021. Did you see that trailer, Mike? Because I don't remember seeing that trailer in 2021.
I don't know if it was 2021. I know that we've actually shown it on this podcast.
Yeah, we showed it in Summer Games Fest last year because they did have a small trailer at Summer Games Fest. That was, I feel like, the first time I had heard of it, I think. I was trying to remember if I had seen it before then. I don't know. I think last year was the last time it was the first time I saw it, I think.
I remember knocking the game, though, thinking that it wasn't going to be good because it just looked like an unfinished product that looked kind of like a knockoff. So, like everybody's saying, it's like it's a knockoff, like Pokemon with guns, that kind of stuff.
Yeah. And it's crazy. I mean, like, it definitely pulled inspiration, probably putting it lightly. But I mean, there's definitely, I mean, look, it's at the end of the day, the core mechanics in it, I think it's such a solid foundation, and it's something that a lot of people too, I think, agree with. Like, it's what Pokemon like should be at this point, I feel like. And it's kind of, Pokemon just isn't there, right? Like, we get these new releases from, Game Freak, and it's like, they're either super buggy on release, or they're just not, there's content's just not quite there. However, there's a lot of themes in Palworld too that just you couldn't put in Pokemon. Like you cannot put guns in Pokemon. Like that's just ridiculous. Like that just
Such a shame.
It would not work. And you see, this is what happens though when you come up with these crazy ideas of something that's kind of like that. And so yeah, there's like so there was an article too. I think it was yesterday at the time of recording this was posted. It was on a Tuesday, but Palworld's coming for the kneecaps of Steam's most popular games. With the days of its early access launch, it has sold 6 million copies. That's 7 million now. I think close to 8. Rocketed at the top of the Steam concurrent players list. It can add another milestone. It amassed 1.8 million players that beat Counter-Strike's all-time peak player count. Funnily enough, Palworld's peak player count only barely edged on Counter-Strike's all-time high by roughly 50,000 players. Impressive numbers aside, Palworld's got a tough row to hoe if it hopes to ever beat reigning champion PUBG, which amassed 3.2 million. So it's wild. But yeah, you see they have a screenshot here kind of showing the placement. It's pretty nuts. Just like most played games. Yeah, it's making a name for itself for sure. And then we also talk about everyone's making the Pokemon comparison, Mike. Everybody, right? So what does a modder do? He goes in and he adds the skins. He adds all the skins for all he has Ash. He's got Pikachu. He's got like a bunch of Pokemon skins modded over the actual PAL skin. And sure enough, Nintendo immediately was like, all right,
oh, no.
This is close to it's already close enough. Palworld, we don't need the actual intellectual property. We wove it in. So there was cease and desist. I'm sure pretty shortly.
Oh, they got cooked. They got cooked. Nintendo does not mess around. They'll ruin your life financially for sure.
Yeah, they tend to do that. It's wild, Nintendo. They have amazing evergreen blue ocean content, but the second you wrong them, it's kind of wrong. It's the evil side.
What's a good description that I agree with in terms of Kotaku? We don't agree with Kotaku all the time, right? But this description's pretty good. If someone tossed Minecraft, Fortnite, Pokemon, and some AR-15s into a giant blender, that's what this game would be.
Sure is.
Yeah, kind of.
Yeah, it's pretty accurate. I mean, look, it's a bit of a grind of a game too, which I had talked about originally. It's it takes a while to get stuff going, but if you have people to play with, it's a lot of fun. And I think you can build up your bases. You can get your pals to work for you. And help you.
Yeah, some of the stuff I see is wild.
some of the memes are pretty good. Some of the memes are pretty good. But yeah, it's I don't know, man. It's a good game. I definitely need to continue to play it. I want to I'm nowhere near end game yet, so it's just one of those things I want to keep going and try to experience as much as I can. But I already have a ton of hours synced in. Be sinking a ton of more in. So
I'm gonna be looking forward to progressing into this game because I got a community that I'm in, the Halo 2 community that I play with. They started a dedicated server. I'm definitely trying to get in that. Are you about to pull up gameplay?
No, I was going to pull up gameplay. There was something I wanted to discuss towards the end because I know it was a comment that we mentioned before we recorded, and it's wanted to talk about a touch on that because now I have the context. So
okay, well, while you look that up, I'm going to look up one more thing for Palworld before we move on to your topic.
Yep.
And if I could find the article as quickly as possible. Oh my gosh, PETA's even upset about animal cruelty in a video game. Dude, shut up. It's a fake game with fake problems that don't exist. Just let people play games. Let
people play games, dude.
Whatever. Let me see if I can find it. Shoot, I actually can't. Because, this is a good problem to have. My algorithm's actually fixed in Google News, always sending me new stuff. So it's an older article, and it was basically talking about the updates that are going to be coming to Palworld, and one of them being PvP.
Oh, yeah.
And that makes it interesting because, PvP is you need to be, how does that work when your character stays in one world? Do you have to all join up in the same world and then build up your character, or are they eventually going to make it so you can cross-save? Because that'd be so sick. If you could have all of your characters on one home server and then you just grab all your stuff and then copy it over to another server, and then you don't have to create a new character every time you start the game. Every world being an individual save is kind of annoying. I think.
Yeah, I mean, it's somebody I mentioned too. I mean, they definitely talked about that. They already have a working roadmap, and they're focusing on the critical bugs first, and then they're going to be working on some improvements from there. But then eventually they want to add the raid bosses, PvP, a PAL arena, so you can PvP pals. but also just like working on new islands and new pals and kind of expanding that. So I mean, there's a lot of there's a lot of hope that there's going to be some long term support for this, which is awesome. So
I mean, you sell that many 5 million
you better
copies
support
of
it
the
long
game
term.
in 3 days. You better, please. $26
This is crazy.
and on Game Pass.
This is crazy for that studio too, because like they have so much money and like resources now. It's like they could really go hard with this, and it's like this studio's whole like world changed overnight. It's like it's wild to think about. It's like now they just have so much.
It's so insane, and they're basically going to be through a massive hiring process to try to like get the personnel to make things happen quickly,
for sure,
and have essentially kind of like a live support if you can, live service game.
Yeah, I mean, pretty much, yeah. And there's already updates. I mean, there's already been a few updates just the past few days of just like minor things. Because like when I like first played, it was like there was kind of like there's like things that were kind of missing. I feel like, and they're already starting to kind of add those pieces in. Like some of the button mapping and stuff isn't quite there. Like my interact key, I wasn't able to rebind for whatever reason.
Oh, that's weird.
Like it's just really strange stuff like that. So, I mean, I think they'll improve it. But yeah, very interesting stuff. Yeah.
Okay, so what were you about to show us before we?
Oh yeah.
Are we finished up with Palworld? Gonna move on?
I think we're finished.
Hey, what's up? If you enjoyed that, remember to check out the full unedited version in the description below. Thanks. Remember to subscribe.